Okay guys, here's another example problem. JD is a 52-year-old male who has been hospitalized due to complications from a recent surgery. He's now stable and ready to transition to home care. The physician has requested that you convert JD's pain regimen to hydromorphone ER for simplified dose. Here's the pain regimen. They've consistently taken all 6 as needed daily doses, and we're going to assume a 50% reduction. I'll actually do this problem again after we're done at a 25% reduction, just so you guys can see what that looks like too. Okay, but let's do it first with the 50% reduction. So the first thing we need to do is calculate the 24-hour dose, and this is from your slides. So let's start out by calculating the 24-hour dose. So we have a patient who is on oxycodone, ER, 40 milligrams BID, and oxycodone, IR, 15 milligrams, and they're taking it Q 4 hours. So that gives me 90 milligrams of the IR and 80 milligrams of the ER. So that gives me a total of 170 milligrams of oxy PO. So next we have to set up our conversion. So we know what our choosing our agent is because we're going to go to hydromorphone. So now it's just time to do the math. So let's do the math. So we're going to start out with our value here. So our total daily dose goes here, 170 milligrams of PO oxy. And then down here at the bottom is going to be X milligrams of PO dilaudid, or hydromorphone. You can see here that this is always where we put our X. Let's set up our conversion factor on the other side, and this is where we're going to use this converting between opioids. So you can see here that I have hydromorphone oral is 7.5, and then oxycodone oral is 20. So let's go back here, and we'll put 7.5 in the dilaudid spot. And you can see here why it's important to go ahead and put the PO in there, just to make sure that you can orient yourself whenever you're looking at IV versus PO. Okay, let's cross multiply. So I get 170 times 7.5 equals 20x. We can divide both sides by 20. And that should get us like 63.7. Let me double check with my calculator here. 170 times 63.7. And this is milligrams of PO dilaudid. Now let's go ahead and do our adjust for cross tolerance. Okay, so when we adjust for cross tolerance, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 63.7 milligrams and we're going to multiply it by 100% minus our cross tolerance, which is 50%. And that should get us around like 31.375 or 31.135. 31.875. Let's try that again. Okay. They're supposed to be 0.75, so I apologize. So, keeping that in mind, this is our milligrams of PO dilaudid, and this is what's going to go into our extended release version. So this is our ER. Okay, so let's also do our agent for breakthrough pain. So we're going to take this 31.875, and then this is for breakthrough. times 0.1 or 10% times 0.2 or 20%. Okay, so that should give us like 6.375 to 3.1875. I'm going to apologize for bad math over here. I was going off the top of my head and I forgot that I needed to have that 0.5 in there. Okay, so these are our IR formulations. So let's go ahead and pick our agents. So for the ER, we're going to go to the long-acting opioid, and we're going to try to figure out something that's close to 31.875 and making that into a once-a-day tablet. So we go to our hydromorphone. It's called Exaldo. I have 8, 12, 16, 32, and it's every 24 hours. Luckily for me, this is pretty easy. I can just pick 32 milligrams every 24 hours. So let's write that out. Okay, and now let's look at our breakthrough IR formulation. So I need something between 3 and 6 milligrams. So we go to our hydromorphone tablets. They come in 2, 4, and 8. And I can dose those every 3 to 6 hours. So let's just pick right in the middle here and just pick 4. And we'll pick kind of a number right here in the middle as well and do every 4. You could come up with different answers here. You just want to make sure that it's within this range. So 4 made the most sense to me that because it was in this range, but you also could have picked 6. Probably if I would have picked 6, I would have done every 6 hours just to extend the interval. But all answers are correct. Okay. And so this gives us our final answer here. Okay, let's do the problem again, but instead of assuming a 50% reduction, let's take this a 25% reduction. Okay, so let's do it again, and we'll do it with a 25% reduction. Once again, our math is the same. So we're going to still add up our total daily dose, which equals 170. And I'm not going to re-show that work. And then we're going to do the math again. It should be the exact same. So we're going to put 170 milligrams of PO oxy over X milligrams of PO hydro. So this would be 7.5 once again. So the 7.5 is here over, 20. Right. Yep. Dotted here. Cross multiply. Solve for X, and we should still get this 63.75 milligrams of PO hydromorphone. Go back to the last problem if you don't figure out how I can do this. It would be just that exact same equation, or that exact same math in algebra. Okay, so now let's assume that we're going to actually do a decrease of 75% or a decrease of 25% for cross tolerance. So we're going to take this 63.75 and we're going to multiply it by 100% minus, and this time instead of picking 50, we're going to pick 25. So this actually represents a 75% reduction. or it actually represents 75% of this dose. It's not really 75% reduction, it's 75% of this dose. So times 0.75 or 75%. Let's put it in our calculator, 63.75 times 0.75. That gives me 47.81 milligrams. So this would be our new total daily dose. So with this only reduction of 25%, we can see how this is a higher dose. So let's go ahead and calculate breakthrough. So that would be this 47.81 times 0.1 or times 0.2, or you can do 10 and 20% here. That gives me 9.56 to 4.78. So as we can't pick out our agents, we can go back to this Dilaudid. It comes in 12, 16, and 32. We can do 16 times 3 of those doses, and that should get us to 48. Yeah. So we can go ahead and just do hydromorphone, 16 milligrams. You could also do 4 of the 12s, just depending on where you're at. So actually, we're just going to make this 48 milligrams, PO, daily. For our breakthrough, we know that it comes in 4s and 8s, so we'll pick a number right in the middle of it. And we can either pick 6 or 8. Let's just pick 8 because that's an easy one. And once again, I can pick any range between a PRN of 3 hours to 6 hours. I'm going to pick let's say Q6, just because it is a little bit on the higher side. I could also make an argument for Q4. But let's go ahead and just say Q6 hours. And that'll get you there. So I tried to show it to you how you could do it with the 50% reduction and how you can do it with the 75% reduction. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.